see such a great group for our Bottle Band concert tonight. Welcome to all of you. Just out of curiosity, how many of you are here to a Bottle Band concert for the first time? Would you mind raising your hands? At least half the audience. That'd be wonderful. That's great. I want you to know that you came on the right night. This is closing night. We've had 5 performances. Never in the 10-year history of the Bottle Band have there been 5 performances in 1 month. So you have them, they're revved up, they're ready to go. Are you ready for them though? Let me hear it. I hope you don't mind, but I was kind of hoping for something. Well, you remember, any of you watched David Letterman a month ago? He was at the Chicago Theater, and they said that the crowds he had in the Chicago Theater were so good, they didn't want to come back here again because they had head and shoulders over New York. Well, let's show the Bottle Band that the gym, St. Luke's Church, has it head and shoulders over the Chicago Theater and David Letterman. Let's hear it. Come on. Without any further ado then, folks, here they are, the St. Luke's Bottle Band.
Thank you very much. Good evening and welcome to the 1988-89, St. Luke's. It's our 5th show. 89 Bottle Band concert. This is, of course, the celebration of our 10th anniversary, and to do that, we have decided to entitle our show The Best of the Bottle Band. Now, we will be doing a couple of new pieces, but most of the works on the program are ones we have done before from previous programs. We're very excited about tonight's program for 2 reasons. One, it's giving us a chance to play pieces you requested we do again. And secondly, since we were playing things we've played before, we were able to significantly cut down on our rehearsal time. In fact, this year we were able to get get by with only one instead of the usual two rehearsing. Our first piece was, of course, Strike Up the Band by George Gershwin. We thought for our second selection we would have a little fun and go back and play some of the pieces that we played the very first year we were in existence. So I've arranged a little medley. I call it the early hits of the Bottle Band. The first piece is Ach du lieber Augustine, followed by Home on the Range, Little Brown Jug, She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain, and then finally a piece we call the Circus March, which is the piece you hear played on a calliope when you go to the circus or a carnival. Now, Ach du lieber Augustine, the first piece in the medley, is actually the very first one we ever played. And these pieces are very, very simple, but we thought we'd play them for you so you can see how much better we've become in the past 10 years. And incidentally, if you go downstairs at intermission, we have down there some Bottle Band memorabilia, and we were able to locate the actual original scores we used for this piece. And we've also taped up a modern day score so you can compare the two and see how primitive the original notation was. I would like to introduce to you now our kazoo soloist for this number. Please give a warm round of applause for Betty Sue Lou Fleming. Teaches music appreciation at the DeVry Institute of Technology. Where she's also working on a doctorate in kazoology. Here now are the early hits of the Bottle Band. Thank you very much. Great audience. 1989 is a big year not only for the Bottle Band, but also for St. Luke's Church. Many of you might know that it's also the 75th anniversary of St. Luke's. And so throughout the year, we're going to have a number of special musical events to celebrate this wonderful occasion. Now, in addition to this being the 75th anniversary of St. Luke's, it is also the 75th anniversary this year of Wrigley Field. And it was my thought that perhaps the Cubs and St. Luke's could get together and have some sort of a celebration which would celebrate both of these occasions. I have two ideas I'm working on. One is that the Bottle Band play the national anthem at a Cub game. The other is that we have a hymn fest here at the church led by Harry Carey. That's right. Now, I understand we have a special guest in the audience tonight. Many of you might know this person. He's the man who sings the national anthems many times at Wrigley Field, Mr. Wayne Mesmer. Wayne, are you here somewhere? Hand? There he is. Not only does he sing, he also makes arrangements for who sings when he doesn't. So Wayne, I have this little envelope for you. See me after the show. Maybe we can work something out. Our next piece is the exact opposite from the first ones. It is a new one this year, and it is extremely complicated. Over the past 10 years, our audiences have often given us suggestions for what we can do with our bottles besides blow on them. And we have discovered that it's possible to make musical sounds not only by blowing, but by tapping on the bottles, and also by using a technique we call plucking. So this piece calls for two pluckers. They will be Betty Sue Lou Fleming and our principal percussionist, Rick Smith. Then in addition to the pluckers, we also are going to be using an instrument known as the bottleophone. Now the bottleophone is the instrument on the middle row of tables there. It sounds something like a xylophone, and it looks something like a bar. Which is why the Bottle Band members are very comfortable standing here. This piece we're going to play is called the Pizzicato Polka. You may not recognize it from that title, but I'm sure you've heard it. It's used quite frequently in TV commercials and cartoons and such. So here we go now with the Pizzicato Polka. Oh, by the way, this piece is from a ballet, I should mention. And so because it is from a ballet, we thought we would add a little choreography. So in the middle section, the bottleophone section will do a very simple little dance routine. Here now is the Pizzicato Polka. Thank you. I am very excited to announce once again that this year the Bottle Band will be playing at Ravinia. However, the date has been changed this year. It won't be the same as last year. December 14th, just not real well. We're trying to get something in October at least. Our next piece was one that we performed in 1986. This was the year the title of our show was Broadway Bottles, and we played pieces from Broadway musicals. And the one we're going to do tonight is from the musical Carousel, written by Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein. This is a wonderful piece for the Bottle Band because it's called the Carousel Waltz, and it's supposed to make you think about a fair, a carnival, and it's got a great sense of that. As you hear it, you can almost feel yourself at a carnival or a state fair riding on a carousel. So here we go now with the Carousel Waltz. Our soloists for this piece will be Betty Sulu Fleming and Joyce Robinson on kazoo. The Carousel Waltz.
Thank you.
In 1987, the title of our show was a salute to the Chicago Theater, and that's the year we're going to take this piece from. In that year, I was working at the Chicago Public Library, and they were involved in cataloging all the music that was given to them from the Chicago Theater that had been left in the basement when it closed in the 50s. And part of my job was to go through and clean the music and sort it out and put it on a computer listing. And in the course of doing that, I came across several very wonderful songs. Things such as When Veronica Played the Harmonica, a song about dog lovers called I'm Nuts About Mutts, and my personal favorite, one that was written right after the outbreak of World War II, called If He Can Fight Like He Can Love, Then Good Night Germany. I wish we could do that one for you, but since we're in a church, we really can't. The name of the piece we're going to do is called Everybody Calls It Swing, and it's a charming little piece that I've arranged for the bottle band, and it calls for a solo to be played, and so tonight, as a soloist, I'd like to introduce to you the instrument she's playing is called a flute. Now, it's so called because it sounds like a flute, but it's made out of bottles. So please welcome our flutelist, some say flautelist, Miss Lori Hayden. I'd like to show you briefly why the flute is a very unpopular instrument. First of all, it's got only 8 notes. There are 8 bottles on it, so the piece has to have 8 notes or fewer in the melody. And then secondly, the intervals between notes have to be fairly small. If you have to go from bottle number 2 to bottle number 7 and back to 1, it can be very difficult, and flute players often chip their teeth. Not a very popular instrument. Also, the piece has to be fairly slow because it's hard to go from even bottle number 1 to 2 very quickly. So a number such as Flight of the Bumblebee is out of the question. As are almost every other piece. However, there are 2 or 3 which work out well for the flute, and this is one of them. Now, in addition to the flute, we will also be using pluckers again. For this piece, we have Bert Olson and Bob Flueler plucking, and then we'll also have the bottlephone, played this time by Dave Sherman, Rick Smith, and Dave Hine. What is significant about this piece is it's the only one we play which is done completely on bottles. All the other pieces use a kazoo or a violin or a vocalist, but this one is arranged for nothing but bottles. It's a pure bottle band piece. So we hope you enjoy it. Everybody calls it swing. Thank you very much. At this time, I would like to inform all of you that the several members of the bottle band do teach privately in their homes. In case you would like to take lessons or perhaps start your children out on the bottle. Playing the bottle. I know a lot of parents are reluctant to spend money on a violin or a trumpet for their child, but for the cost of a six-pack, you can get your child going in music. We also have a Suzuki bottle band here at the church. So if you're interested in any of these programs, do see me after the show. Last year, we entitled our show A Tribute to the Olympics, and we did music from all over the world. And we thought we would repeat at least one number from that show. And this was by far the most popular piece. It was our tribute to the country of Spain, and it is the very famous piece, Lady of Spain. Now, thank you. When I hear the title Lady of Spain, immediately I think of the accordion. I remember years ago watching the Ted Mack Amateur Hour, and it seemed like every other week they had an accordion player doing Lady of Spain. And of course, the most thrilling part was the final section where they would do the vibrato with the accordion. So I thought, if we're going to do this piece, we have to use an accordion in it, even though nobody in the bottle band knows how to play one. But we were able to get around that problem, and so I'd like to introduce to you now the soloists for Lady of Spain. First, the Lady of Spain. Please welcome Joyce Robinson. There are many famous male trios in the history of the world. The Three Musketeers, the Three Wise Men, the Three Stooges. Our trio tonight resembles the last group rather than the first two. Please welcome our three seniores, Bert Olson, Chuck Engelson, and David Sherwood. Here we go now with Lady of Spain. Thank you very much. All successful musical groups have to have a support group behind them to raise money and to provide moral support, and the Bottle Band is no exception. We have a group known as the Friends of the Bottle Band. Well, actually there's still only one member, so technically it's a friend. And he would like to talk to you tonight about his fundraising activities and membership drive for 1989. Please welcome Craig Mullen, the Friend of the Bottle Band.
Yes, it's been 10 years, and Friends of the Bottle Band still has only one member. Over the years, we've tried just about everything to get new members. We've even offered special premiums for joining. For instance, you may remember back in 1962, it was the beautiful Bottle Band Candelabra. And in 1985, we offered the amazing Mr. Bottle. In 1986, we broadened the levels of membership in Friends of the Bottle Band, so much so that a donation of a mere 50 cents would qualify one as a friend, but there were no takers. As our 10th anniversary approached, we knew we had to find some way to get new members. We consulted our marketing expert, who pointed out that giving away free samples is often used as a technique to stir up interest in a product. So tonight, one lucky member of our audience will receive a free membership in Friends of the Bottle Band. But we're not just going to give it away. You're going to have to earn it by winning tonight's contest. This bottle is filled with peanuts, bubble gum, and pieces of candy. Your goal is to guess the total number of such objects in the bottle. In your program tonight, you'll find a special ballot. You should fill it out with your name and your guess, and drop it in the ballot box down in Fox Hall, where refreshments will be served during the intermission. This bottle will be down there too, so that you can get a closer look at it. If you are the winner tonight, you will not only become a friend of the Bottle Band, you will receive 2 other fabulous prizes. First is this 75th anniversary calendar for St. Luke's Church, which has been specially modified so that it is also a 10th anniversary calendar for the Bottle Band. It's been signed by all of the members of the Bottle Band. And if you're our lucky winner tonight, you will also receive this handsome St. Luke's commemorative plate. Back in 1964, St. Luke's observed the 50th anniversary of its founding. This plate was created for that occasion. We still have several hundred of them left over. And so we're going to give away one of them tonight. You should note, however, that this plate has been artfully changed so that it's no longer a 50th anniversary plate, it's a 75th anniversary plate. These prizes will be on display in Fox Hall during the intermission, and I will announce the winner during the second half of tonight's performance. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Craig. For our next piece, we're going to take a number we did in 1985. That was the year we did a salute to Bach and Handel, since it was the 300th anniversary of both of their births. We're going to do the Bach Brandenburg Concerto No. 2. Now, Bach wrote 6 Brandenburg Concerti, and this is the only one that calls for a trumpet part. It calls for a special kind of trumpet. It's written very high, and it's usually played on what's called a piccolo trumpet, which is a short, small instrument which can play notes in a very high register. And like piccolo trumpets, we also have piccolo bottles, and that's the instrument I have right here. These, of course, are the bottles you get when you're on an airplane and you buy a drink. This is a very expensive instrument. It took me 4 flights to get enough bottles to make this. Playing the piccolo bottles is very difficult because the piece calls for very high notes, and it also calls for trills. Trills on a piccolo trumpet are hard enough, but on a bottle they're very, very hard. But I will do the best I can. Now, in addition to the piccolo trumpet or bottles, we have also a part for the violinist, and our soloist tonight is, of course, our principal violinist, Miss Judy Yehudi. And then the harpsichord, going from the accordion to the harpsichord, is Miss Joyce Robinson. We are not going to do the entire concerto. We're only going to do the first movement, and then at that, only excerpts from the first movement. Bottle band pieces can only be about 4 minutes long, otherwise the players tend to hyperventilate and pass out. So we'll be doing a sort of edited version of the first movement. Here now is Bach's Brandenburg Concerto No. 2. Thank you very much. Well, we come now to the major work on the first half of our program, and that is the oratorio Johann and Roxanne. This again comes from the 1985 program, and the reason we selected it that year was because it's a piece written by Handel about Bach, so therefore it's doubly significant. Now there are some music scholars who do not believe that it was indeed written by Handel, and they point out that several parts of it do not sound like what we're accustomed to hearing from Handel. However, I would like to point out a couple of things. We do know for a fact that the first movement, the opening chorus, was written by Handel. The title of it is Awake the Bottle's Lofty Sound, which is identical to another chorus he wrote in another oratorio called Awake the Trumpet's Lofty Sound. Now, some of the other pieces do sound a little different than most Handel music. However, you have to remember a couple things. One is Handel was a very speedy composer. He wrote the Messiah in about 3 weeks, and we think he wrote Johann and Roxanne in about 3 hours. Also, we think he wrote it while seated in a pub. So that may have something to do with the strange tunes that he wrote for it. A little bit about the plot. This is a true story. Apparently, Handel and some of his composer friends were sitting around in this pub talking about Bach, and this story came up. It's a true story. When Bach was a young man, he went to visit the great German organist Dietrich Buxtehude. Buxtehude was getting older and about ready to retire, and Bach thought that perhaps if he impressed Buxtehude, he might be named as his successor. So he went there and played for him very successfully. And Buxtehude said, well, you can have the job, but if you want it, you have to marry my daughter, Roxanne. Well, Bach turned down the job. He never did it, and we're not sure why he turned it down. However, we have a couple of clues. One is that tonight we have, as our special soloist, singing the role of Roxanne, Maxine Buxtehude, who is a descendant of Roxanne's. And if Roxanne looked anything at all like Maxine, I think we can understand Bach's decision not to take the job. We would like to introduce to you now the soloists. Please welcome the four vocal soloists for Johann and Roxanne. Singing the role of Johann, we have Jim Pearson, tenor. As Dietrich Buxtehude, we have bass Bob Fuller, and as Mrs. Buxtehude, soprano Betty Smith-Fleming. Singing the role of narrator is Karen Fluhler. And then on harpsichord, our soloist is David Sherwin. Now it gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce to you our special guest soloist for this work. Please welcome mezzo-baritone Maxine Buxtehude. Just a couple of quick announcements before we start the work. First of all, you're welcome to go downstairs at intermission for refreshments, and you may use either stairway, the one up here or the one in the back. We do ask that you not bring cups of soft drinks back to the gym, please. We had a little problem last night with things being spilled, so you're welcome to drink them down there. Please leave them down there, though. Also, please take your time. We have some rehearsing to do for the second act, so no need to rush. Here we go now then with the oratorio, Johann and Roxanne.
For someone has just bought another
Yes, I do, 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 do.
Oh, yes, she does.
Yes, I do, 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 do.
Oh, yes, she does.
I do.
Yes, she does.
I do.
Yes, she does.
Yes, I do, 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 do. I do. Oh, yes, I do.
She does. She does. She does. She does. Then the minister turned to Johann and said, "Do you take this woman to be your wedded wife?" And he answered, saying, "Nothing." Suddenly, Johann's knees began to shake. His heart began to pound furiously. His stomach began to make funny noises. The Buxtehudes were perplexed, and they began to murmur, saying, and again the minister said to Johann, "Do you take this woman to be your wedded wife?" And finally Johann answered, saying, and the jaws of the Buxtehudes dropped, and then they gasped, and then they shouted, "You jerk! How could you do this, you stupid jerk?" Johann went home, and when he got there, he said, "I am so glad coming home, Marianne. I am so glad, boy, am I glad,
Thank you very much. It's nice to see so many of you back for the second act. The Bottle Band has a wide repertoire of music, and we would like to play for you now a piece that is a blues number. I wrote this a few years ago. It's called the Bottle Band Blues. There are several choruses to it. I will be playing one chorus on my 7-ounce Lowenbrau's. We will also have a plucker chorus with our two pluckers, Carol Stevens and Dave Hine. The Bottlephone will take one chorus, Rick Smith, Joyce Robinson, and Dave Sherwin. And then for the final chorus, we have a vocalist. And in thinking about who would be appropriate to sing this particular piece, there really was only one person that we considered. She's played with us on a couple of other occasions, and it's appropriate that she be singing the blues with us now. Please welcome none other than the Blue Nun. Thank you very much. Those of you that have been coming to the Bottle Band concerts prior to 1985 will remember very fondly our former principal violinist, Miss Eunice Pork and Beans. Eunice moved back to Seattle in 1985, and we really wanted her to come out here for this festive concert series, but she wasn't able to make it, and so the only alternative we had was to make use of the technology of the 80s. And what we have done is had Eunice record her part on videotape. Put the mic a little closer to the speaker. We're going to be doing the Mozart Sonata in C, which of course is originally for the piano. And Eunice has not been playing the violin much at all while she's been in Seattle. There are a lot of notes in the Mozart, and unfortunately Eunice just cannot quite hit all of them. But she gives it a real good shot. So would you please give a warm welcome to Miss Eunice Corkin-Beans. Unfortunately, I made the mistake of allowing Eunice to write her own cadenza. And since she hasn't been playing for a few years, she kind of went wild on it. I really don't like to tamper with another artist's creative work. But in this case, I feel obliged to do something, so we're just going to fast forward. I think she played about 75 different songs. Thank you very much. I know Eunice will be pleased. She was so well received. In the last few years, we've always tried to feature a dance number in our program. One year we, of course, had Betty Sue Fleming doing her interpretation of The Swan. The last couple of years we've had the Bottlettes performing. This year we're going to do something a little less spectacular, but very charming. We're going to do a piece called The Charleston, which many of you remember was quite famous in the 20s and 30s. The second chorus will be a dance. We'll add a little dance to it. Our dance soloists are Gail Pearson and Chuck Werner. Gail is an extraordinarily good dancer. She's also an aerobics instructor and is in very good physical condition. Chuck, on the other hand, well, let me just say that he's improved tremendously since he fell off the stage last Friday. I would caution the front row, however, to be alert during this piece. This is a charming work. It works out very well for the bottle band. It features the bottle-o-phone, and as I say, on the second chorus, we will have Chuck and Gail dancing. Here we go with the Charleston. Thank you. If you read the program, you saw that I am a graduate of the Spike Jones School of Music. And while I attended that institution, I was fortunate enough to study many of the original scores that Spike wrote. For those of you that are not familiar with Spike Jones, he was a percussionist and band leader in the 1930s and 40s. And he was very fond of using strange instruments and taking very serious pieces and arranging them in a slightly different way. And the piece we're going to do for you tonight is called The Glowworm. I'm sure many of you have heard it before, perhaps not in the Spike Jones version, however. This piece calls for a number of different soloists. We have Judy Yehudi on violin. Doing the vocals are Betty Sue Fleming and Bob Fluhler. On banjo is Bert Olson. And I would like to introduce to you now our special guest for this piece. Please welcome, as the Glowworm, Debbie Rowe. Duplicate almost exactly Spike's intentions, his exact arrangement on his piece. Here now is The Glowworm. bottle band is, of course, available to play for weddings. And what we would like to do for you now is play what we call our wedding medley, our wedding suite. The advantage to hiring the bottle band is that we would take care of all your musical needs for the day. You would not have to hire an organist and a soloist and then a band for the reception. We would do everything in one package deal. And so our wedding medley is a way of showing you what kind of music you could expect if you hired us. The first piece, the first movement, is the traditional wedding processional by Wagner, also known as Here Comes the Bride. Then the second movement is the piece we would play for you during the ceremony. Now we still only have one piece, so you'd have to take that one. And that is the Indian Love Call. Then the third movement is the traditional wedding recessional by Mendelssohn. Some of you may know this as the theme song from the old Newlywed Game. And then finally, the fourth movement is actually another medley of songs that we would do for you at the reception. Betty Sue Fleming will be featured as the vocalist in this little medley. Is anybody here getting married in the near future? Who is this? What is your name? Tony. What's the date? July 7th?
Are you available?
Are we available? We ask for 2 drinks apiece at the reception. And all the bottles we can carry out of the I have my card here, Tony. Can you give that to Tony? We would like to start out, as I said, the first movement is the traditional processional, and we would like to use for this piece what we call our herald kazoo. You may know a herald trumpet is the long trumpet that they use in Baroque days. It kind of adds a certain dignity to the procedure. So we have our herald kazoo. Our kazoo soloist, by the way, is Karen Fluger, and of course Judy Yehudi on the violin. I should point out the herald kazoo is an extra $3 if you want it. Okay, so here we go now with our wedding medley. And I know many of you are sophisticated concert goers and you know that you're not supposed to applaud between movements of a suite. In this case, however, we encourage you to applaud after every single movement. Jean Pearson in the audience? Jean Pearson? We were told that she would be here. She's getting married too, I guess. Maybe she's just not revealing who she is. Well, it's time now to announce the winner of our contest. And I'd like to introduce to you again the friend of the bottle band, Craig Moen.
Well, I've had to bring out a few extra prizes this evening because we have a tie. There were 335 peanuts, pieces of candy, and pieces of bubble gum in the bottle. 2 people guessed 336. I'm sorry to say we can give away only 1 free membership tonight. So we're going to have a playoff up here. But let me assure the person who comes in second, we do have some consolation prizes for you. So would Lenore Lindemann and Christine Janzow come forward? And for the audience, would you tell your name, please?
Chris Janza,
And where are you from, Chris?
Forest Park.
Have you been to a bottle band concert before?
Yes.
Are you?
Several times.
And would you state your name for the audience, ma'am?
I'm Lenore Lindemann,
And where are you from?
Chicago.
Have you been to a bottle band concert before?
Quite a few times.
Good, regulars. Now, Professor Phillips has arranged for a playoff. You're going to draw straws. The first place winner, of course, will become the official friend of the bottle band. Now, Paul, how is it going to, the longer or the shorter will be the winner? The longer straw will be the winner. So, draw the shorter straw, let me assure you, we do have prizes for you too. Now, as promised, first of all, here's the 10th anniversary calendar for the bottle band. We have one of those for each of you. And for both of your china closets at home, here's the handsome St. Luke's commemorative plate for each of you. Since you won't be an official friend of the bottle band, at least through this contest, here is a bottle of peanuts, bubble gum, and pieces of candy of your very own. And Lenore, I have a certificate for you, but just let me write your name on it first. Here it is, Lenore. Let me read it for you. This is to certify that Lenore Lindemann is an official friend of the bottle band. It's dated May 20th, 1989, and is signed by Professor Phillips and by the president of the Friends of the Bottle Band. So here you go, Lenore. Lenore, this is an historic occasion for Friends of the Bottle Band. We've been in existence 10 years now. The name of the organization is Friends of the Bottle Band, but all these years, my t-shirt has read Friend of the Bottle Band, and tonight, you're going to change it to Friends of the Bottle Band. So if you would, Lenore, stick the S at the end of Friends here. Thank you. We have time for a photograph, too. You go over, please. Thank you. Yeah, take 2 so each of them gets a Polaroid.
Well, we come now to the final work on our program. Well, come back next year and we'll have more for you. In trying to decide how to finish our concert, there was really only one piece that we considered, and that is Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture. Now, I know that when you hear that title, you automatically think of only one thing, usually, and that is the use of cannons, which appear in the last part of the piece. We tried to convince the church council to allow us to put 7 or 8 howitzers out on the roof. However, they declined to let us do that, so we had to come up with some other way of creating the sound of a cannon. We asked our special effects man, Bert Olson, to come up with something, and he designed what is known as a bottle cannon. We're going to put it in place right now. Craig, if you would wheel it out. This is a 14-gallon champagne bottle, which has been specially designed for use in tonight's performance. Inside it are 7 other champagne bottles, smaller ones, and at the appropriate points in the piece, the bottles will have their corks popped out of them, simulating the sound of a cannon. Now, in addition to a cannon, of course, the piece calls for church bells in the last section. We thought about using the bells of our own church, but we thought it would be better to have something a little more visual. So we're going to be assisted tonight by the Ladies' Aid Handbell Choir here at St. Luke's. They are affectionately known here as the Dingalings. They will be coming out at the very end of the piece to ring handbells. This is quite a difficult piece for the bottle band to perform. The opening section calls for the bottles to do something they don't usually do, which is play the melody. They're playing all by themselves. Later on in the piece, we have the kazoos, Karen Fluler and Betty Sue Fleming, and of course, Judy Hootie on the violin. We'd like to thank you again for coming. We hope you've enjoyed our show. And we close now with the 1812 Overture by Tchaikovsky. By the way, we will not be doing the complete overture. As you can imagine, it's too long and too complicated, and so we're going to do sections from it, but it's still the main themes. The 1812 Overture. so we can do the encore. We're having a cast party, so we want to get out of here as quickly as you do. Well, there's not much you can do to top the 1812, but we thought we would do for an encore a piece that many of you remember from the old television show in the 50s, the Roy Rogers show, Happy Trails to You. So, as the sound of bottle music fades into the night, time once again to say, so long. Those of you that are here for the first time, we'd like to say thank you. Hope you come back again next year. Those of you that are celebrating birthdays or anniversaries, we congratulate you. Those of you that are dissatisfied with your jobs, we hope you find something better real soon. Drive safely and good night.
Thank you.